the observatory that we live next to, and the sun just rose.
If I just listen to the thought of my brain, should I put?
We have taken the metro to the place where we will meet to go to Sintra. I ordered a bread and chicken burger. We have arrived at the place we should be for the bus to Sintra.
Huge earthquake that destroyed a big part of the city, and so he was the man responsible for rebuilding Lisbon as we can see it nowadays.
Apparently, this building was the first shopping mall built in Lisbon, and when they first built it, everyone from the Western culture came to Lisbon to see this shopping mall.
It was built in the 1700s, and it was responsible for supplying Lisbon with water for over 200 years until last century, three waters aqueduct. Back in the days, particularly during the 1800s, the upper part of the aqueduct, so the path above the aqueduct, it was a public path, so people would go there, publicly stroll from one side to the other of the aqueduct to have a nice view of the Lisbon. You can see it here on the right hand side, the Three Waters Aqueduct. So back in the days, people would come there, they would go there publicly and have a stroll from one side to the other and have a nice view over Lisbon. But in the end of the 1800s, a man would go there not for the best of purposes. He would go there and then he would basically rob people, and then he would push them. He would push the people out of the aqueduct. He would basically kill them. From that moment on, the public path of the aqueduct is closed to public. So nowadays, one can only visit it on a private visit. And this man was later considered a serial killer. The aqueduct serial killer. He was actually one of the last men convicted to death penalty in Portugal. He had in the 1800s. Okay, we are now passing by the Monsanto Park. It's considered the lung of the city of Lisbon. It's here since the 30s, but before and after it was here, it is also considered the border to the north and to the west of the city of Lisbon. So we know that as soon as we cross this park, we are no longer in the city of Lisbon, but entering its surroundings. So if we think only in the city of Lisbon, we know it has something like 500,000 inhabitants, only the city of Lisbon. But all its metropolitan areas, so Lisbon and its surroundings, more or less 3 million people. Because here in Portugal we are a little bit less than 11 million in total, this means roughly that 25% of us live here in the metropolitan area of our capital city, Lisbon. The second most populated city in our country is the city of Oporto in the north. In the metropolitan area of Oporto, there are about 1.5 million people living. So actually, a little bit over a third of the Portuguese live either in Lisbon, either in Oporto, the two major cities of the country. From all our way today from Lisbon to Sintra, we are going to pass by some of the so-called dormitory cities or bedroom communities. To all this area, we call it the Sintra line. Okay guys, but now I'm also gonna tell you just a little bit about particularly our morning. It's gonna be like the mountain of the moon. And this region of Sintra was always been occupied by the human beings since the beginning of humankind. We have plenty of vestiges from all times of history here. As soon as it became it started to be part of the Kingdom of Portugal, Sintra became one of the most popular places between the Portuguese royal family, the noble families, the clergy, to here build their royal palaces, their noble palaces, their monasteries, their convents, etc. Basically for two reasons. First of all, because of its strategic location, Sintra is located very close to the capital of the kingdom at the time, Lisbon, but also very close to the Atlantic Ocean. But also because of the natural characteristics of Sintra. You're going to be able to notice as soon as we grow closer to Sintra that Sintra is located in the middle of the green, in the middle of the nature. Particularly during the summer, when in Lisbon it was very hot and very heavy. There were a lot of diseases and plagues being spread all over. It was impossible to live comfortably in the summers of Lisbon at the time. The royal family, the noble family, so basically the people who could, they would escape here to Sintra, to a much fresher, much healthier environment. And so that's why we have a lot of edified patrimony here in the area of Sintra, a lot of summer royal and noble palaces. And it's because of this patrimonial richness that we call that the historical center of Sintra is considered World Heritage by the UNESCO since the 90s.
The name Sintra came from a girl's name called Cynthia, and I think she was one of the people who lived in the royal palace or something like that.
Kingdom, because I don't know if you know, but the territory where we now have Portugal and also Spain, the territories of Portugal and Spain, were once part of a huge Arabic empire. The Arabs, the Moors, they were here for about 700 years. In the case of Portugal and the Portuguese territory, for about 500 years. And while they were here, occupying the place, they have also left us with a lot of influences that we can see in our culture still today. For example, in the case of artistical and architectonical styles that we can see throughout the country, as the case, for example, of the use of the tile. Here in Portugal, we use a lot of times the tile for practical purposes, but also for aesthetical purposes. And the tile was one of the most important heritages that the Arabs have left us. Also, when it comes, for example, to gastronomy, a lot of the way we eat and cook our food, it has some Arabic influence to it, but mainly in our language. In the Portuguese language, a lot of the words that we use, they come directly from the Arabic language. So their influence is still very strong. They were here for about 500 years. While they were here, they have built a lot of fortresses and castles to defend their territories. We have them all across the territory. We're going to see one in Sintra, actually, the Moorish castle. And they were here until the Christian reconquest took place. In the so-called Christian reconquest, the first Portuguese kings, alongside Christian troops, gradually expelled the Moors from here, and so they gradually formed the Kingdom of Portugal. A movement that began more to the north of the territory, the north part of Portugal, and then grew south. So the southern part of Portugal was the last part to be conquered to the Moors. So the far south you go, the more you find Arabic influences. In the case of Sintra, Sintra was taken from the Moors back in the 1160s, and it was from that moment that it started being part of the Kingdom of Portugal, and then becoming one of the most popular locations, especially aristocratically.
now queuing up to go into the pond. We are now on the tram to the palace, and this time I got a seat. This is the royal palace. We are now inside a gift shop whilst waiting to get into the palace.
Yeah.
This is the chapel. This is the view outside the chapel. So we are now on the bus to lunch, and we've just finished the castle, and I learned that the royal palace, the royal family, they were Catholic, and they had their own chapel, and whenever they wanted a mass, they would just write letters to the priest. And I've also learned that the last king was murdered by the Republicans, and they decided to not have any kings anymore. So, yeah. So, we are now on the bus to Roca Cape, which is an hour away from Sintra. And in the castle, I've also learned that the king who lived there, Mary,
Okay, guys, to the left-hand side, you will now see.
She had 11 babies with the prince, and the 11th time, unfortunately, she died after having the baby, and she didn't even have a chance to sleep on the bed, like the king's bed. And then the king married another, well, he was in a relationship with another girl, but even though she had no royal blood,
Okay, guys, here
was still really nice to that girl. When he died, he gave the girl the royal palace. So, yeah. And they never got married because the girl didn't have any royal blood. So they lived in the palace together.
the city hall of Sintra used to be a noble palace, one of the many that I've already told you about, from the 1800s, and nowadays it's the city hall. You're gonna see it if you look to the left-hand side now.
And
On the right-hand side you see Sintra's train station. It's from here that you can make the connection with Lisbon. In Lisbon, the train station from where you can take the train to come here to Sintra is the Rocio train station, which is by the Rocio Square, one of the main squares in the city of Lisbon. A trip by train from Sintra to Lisbon takes about 45 minutes, and I'd say it's a little bit under €3 per person. And you have trains running every 20 minutes.
the king,
But as soon as we reach the Sintra area, and more particularly the Sintra mountain, we always encounter, or almost always encounter, a certain humidity in here. It gets pretty humid in here, pretty fresh. Once again, one of the reasons why our kings, queens, and noblemen would come here during the summer. It was fresher, it was more humid, and so this humidity results many times in a very intense mist and a very intense fog, which by its turn may result into a very romantic, mysterious, and mystical environment, which has actually inspired many artists, both national and international artists, that have stayed here in Sintra, particularly during the 1800s. They would come here to Portugal, they would stay in the chalets and noble houses throughout the Sintra mountain, and they said they were very inspired by the landscapes of the Sintra mountain to write and to perform and to think about their works of art. It was the case, for example, of the musician Richard Strauss, or the writer Hans Christian Andersen, also the British artist Lord Byron. They've spent a lot of months, a lot of years here in the Sintra mountain, and they wrote a lot of beautiful poems about these landscapes and about the mysteries of the Sintra mountain. More recently, actually, there's another artist who said that really loved this part of Portugal. I don't know if you know her, she's not very famous. Her name is Madonna, and Madonna, she's new. You're gonna hear about her in a few years. She's a promise in the pop music. No, but Madonna now, for real now, she lives in Portugal for about 2 or 3 years. She currently lives in Lisbon, but before she bought herself a palace in Lisbon, that's where she lives, she bought herself a palace here in the area of the Sintra mountain. She currently owns an estate here in the Sintra mountain, because she says as well in interviews that she really loves these landscapes. These landscapes are beautiful when it's sunny, but they are more beautiful still when they are foggy and misty. Well, also because of the very particular microclimate, the flora that we can find in here, it's a very diversified one. One of the trees that we can find in here, in its natural state mainly, is the cork tree. I'm telling you about this cork tree because the cork tree is extremely important to Portugal, to our Portuguese economy, because it's from the cork tree that we remove the cork. And Portugal is the #1 exporter and producer of cork in the world. More than 50% of the global production of cork is Portuguese. So cork is a very big thing to us, and so the cork tree is a tree, one of the many trees that we can find here in the Sintra mountain, but we can find them the most, the cork trees, to the south of Lisbon. If you go further south in the country, particularly in the Portuguese area of Alentejo, it's the region that we find south of Lisbon, there you have millions and millions of cork trees. Talking about important products to the Portuguese economy, we also have, without a doubt, the wine. Portugal's a wine country.
We are now at the western place of Europe. This is the proof for the earth being round, because the water is flat and then it goes down. And this is such a beautiful view.
Big waves, so this is a very popular beach amongst all the ones who do water sports, as you can see. Surf, windsurf, bodyboard, etc. Okay. The word guincho, beach, guincho, is a Portuguese word which means scream. It's a synonym of scream, actually. It's guincho, and it comes from the screaming of some of the eagles, of the birds that we have here in the area. And so seagulls, and in this case a particular type of eagle, even an eagle here from the Sintra mountain, and their screams, their guincho, gave the name to this beach, which is, as you can see, a little bit dangerous beach. The shells of the seafood that being in the beach by the ocean was actually a good habit. A cool habit, but also a healthy habit. People started going to the beach for fun in the 1800s all across Western Europe. And so this was something that affected here Kashkai as well as a beach destination. And that was also the time when the railways arrived to Kashkai. The train was inaugurated in Kashkai in the end of the 1800s as well. So all this resulted that Kashkai became a very, very fashionable place to come, to spend the vacations or even to live. So today you can see this contrast between the small noble houses of the fishermen and the big, beautiful noble houses, noble palaces from that time, the end of the 1800s, beginning of the 1900s. Still today, all this area between the Guicho Beach and the village of Cascais is highly related to the high society of Portugal. On your left-hand side, you're going to see some very big houses, mansions even, and they belong to the people with money here in Portugal. The politicians, the bankers, the football players. Me, of course, I have two houses here. Of course, one for summer, another one for the Christmas parties. No. It's called Mouth of Hell because during winter and stormy days, the water of the ocean hits the rocks very violently, almost reaching the road where we are right now. And it's for the danger of this spectacle that we call it the Mouth of Hell. In days like this, it's just a nice stop to go and take a photograph, if you will. It's going to be a short stop, guys. It has to be a short stop.
It's called the Riviera Beach, and it was a traditional fisherman's beach.
We're videotaped here in the studio, and we're going to pass by the casino and also by the Hotel Palace Hotel, which is where Ian Fleming stayed when he was here, and where the one of the movies, I don't remember which one, was taped as well here at the studio. As well, but like in front, we have the Hotel Palacio, where Ian Fleming would stay here. So this is the main area of the studio. It's the biggest, also the most popular one. This area close to Lisbon. As you can see here, the water is much calmer than the one that we've seen in the beginning in the Guicho Beach. So this beach is very popular amongst the ones who are learning how to surf particularly. So what you have here is a couple of surf schools. So a lot of children, surfing here in this beach. It's kind of an island. There is a fort there as well, right in the middle of the water. That is the Bougie Fort. It comes from the French word bougie, which means candle, because it seemed like a candle. That fort, also from the 1600s. It's there, among other reasons, to set the border between the Atlantic Ocean and the Tagus River. So we know that we're now entering the river, exiting the ocean. Okay? The Tagus
Ocean, the river.
In Portuguese, Tejo, the river that we have in the city of Lisbon. We are now entering the river, which means we are approaching the city.
We are now at Uma. This is our seafood rice. We waited for about 20 minutes. We are now in a supermarket, and so there's a squeezing orange juice machine. In the end, we got bananas, apples, and oranges. We walked past this restaurant, and we are asking. And this is the first time I've seen a blue lobster.